Hi guys, welcome back to YOGALATES with SJ. Today we have a medicine ball total body workout. This workout we are going to be using just a medicine ball. So I've got a 5 kg one here. I'm not sure what that is in pounds, but you can use a lighter medicine ball or a heavier one, or you could even not use a ball at all. And you could also add ankle weights if you want to your workout today, and even wrist weights. But you certainly don't need any of those things. And we are going to start to come down into a squat. So you're sitting back into the heels. You've got the feet about shoulder distance apart. Sitting down into those heels, lengthening the arms up as you come back up. And then coming back down as you sweep the arms around. And core is engaged. Now we're picking the ball up this time, and you are doing an overhead press, and then you are pressing the hips back and softening into the knees as you lower the ball back down to the earth. So keeping length through the back of the neck, and you are making sure that you have got your core engaged the whole time. Shoulders are down and away from the ears, and you are finding a power as you press that ball up overhead and lowering back down with control. Make sure you're breathing. We're going to get through every single muscle as we do in every workout here on the channel. So we are making sure that we are getting everything in this 30-minute workout. Really controlling this here. So we aren't throwing the ball up. We are making sure that we are in control, and when you come down, just staying here and allowing yourself to fold down into a fold. Any movement here into the head and neck that feels good. And then you're starting to roll the ball out, keeping length through the back of the neck, so making sure that you're not lifting the chin up. And then you are using your core muscles to draw the ball back in, and then you're lengthening out again and lifting one arm up and then the other as you gaze towards that arm, coming back through center, and then using your core to draw you back to your halfway lift, and then exhale as you fold back down, lengthening the arms forward. So inhale as you draw that ball back through that center line. Exhale, pressing the ball away as you start to find a little bit more length through the arms, as well as finding a really nice stretch here. Beautiful. And then we're starting to bring the ball over towards the right side, and you're bringing both hands onto that ball and finding a stretch through the side waist. Just trying to keep the hips nice and square here. Then you're lengthening the left arm up and then bringing it back down, and then you are coming over to the other side and doing the same thing. So we are trying to have softness into the knees here. You're keeping the pelvis neutral, and you are lifting the hips up high, reaching the right arm up as you gaze up, and then finding that release here as you come back through center. And let's take a moment here to bring the ball to your heart center, and we are coming to standing here and taking a moment, finding a neutral pelvis, shoulders down and away from the ears, and you have got weight even through both feet. Bringing the ball up overhead and then coming all the way down to your fold, and then bringing the ball back up again and folding back down. So we're continuing with this. You're holding the ball the whole time, and you are pressing up and then pressing the hips back as you start to fold down into your forward fold. I just want you to make sure that you're not locking out those knees. So we've got softness into the knees the whole time, and really it's only the hips moving forward and back. So you're trying to keep your core engaged the whole time. You're keeping weight even here. Now we're bringing the ball out next time you come down, lengthening the arms forward, and then you're drawing the ball back in, and you are lifting the right heel up and then the left. So drawing the ball in as you start to lift one heel up, and then lengthening the arms forward as you lower that heel and lift the other heel up. So we are alternating from side to side with this, and we're finding that little halfway lift as well as a forward fold. So we're finding even more length through the back of those legs, and we're also working into the calf muscles and the back of the legs. So keeping moving, breathing, and flowing freely. Beautiful work. And let's come all the way we're starting to lift the heels up, and then you are lifting the toes up as you draw the ball back in towards you, finding a halfway lift. And then you are lengthening the arms forward, lifting the heels up, and then drawing that ball back in as you lower the heels back down. Nice. And then let's come all the way down to a kneeling position. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale as you bring the forearms down onto your ball here, finding a flat back and pressing the shoulders towards the mat, finding length through the back of the neck. And we are starting to draw forward and draw back. So we are just using our core here to drive this. We want to have that tabletop position of the back, and you can move really, really small with this, or you can start to find a little bit more length out as you go. So we want to make sure that you are not letting go of that connection of belly button to spine, and you are not bringing any tension into the low back. And we are drawing in, using those core muscles to draw the elbows in towards the belly button, and then keeping that connection of core as you start to bring the forearms forward. Nice. And then coming back, pressing the hips back, and then lengthening forward, coming forward, and pressing the hips back. And then staying here, we're coming to a high kneeling, and you are sweeping the right arm up and back, and then the left goes up and back, gaze following, and then the left arm comes back and up and forward, and then the right arm comes back up and forward, and then we are starting to step the left foot forward. So taking your time here to make sure that knee is in line with the ankle, sweeping the arms up and over and starting to look up towards the hands, pressing the hips forward. You're starting to bring your hands onto your ball, and then you're drawing the ball back as you start to lift the toes towards the face, finding length through the back of the leg, and then starting to shift forward again, bending through that front knee, sweeping the left arm up and over, and then we are drawing the ball back, lifting the toes, finding length through the back of the leg, and then pressing forward, hip presses forward and knee bends, sweeping the left arm up and over. You can grab hold of the foot somewhere and then sweeping the arm up and lengthening forward, and then drawing that ball back as you lift the toes towards the face, finding that length through the back of the leg, and then starting to bend through that front knee, sweeping that left arm up and over, grabbing the foot somewhere if you want to, and then bringing that arm all the way back through to the front and lengthening the back of the leg, finding length through the spine as well. Core is engaged, and then you are shifting forward, pressing the hips forward and sweeping that left arm up and over, and letting the heel come towards the glute, and then starting to come forward again and lengthening forward and drawing that ball back as you start to lift the toes towards the face, and inhale, shifting forward, bending through the front knee, finding length here, lifting up out of the pelvic floor as you come all the way forward, pressing those hips forward, maybe starting to lower down onto the forearms, or you might stay high with this. We're just starting to relax the belly, relaxing the pelvis, the hips, allowing everything to soften here. Finding some deep cleansing breaths in through the nose and out the nose or mouth. Taking a moment, and then starting to draw the ball back as you start to lift the toes towards the face, finding length through the back of that hamstring, and then we are coming to the other side. So stepping your right foot forward and bending through the right knee, and you are pressing the hips forward as you find length into the spine, and then you are starting to bring your hands onto your ball, drawing that ball back as you find length through the back of the hamstring, finding a nice straightness through the back of that leg, lifting the toes and then pressing the knee forward, bending through that knee and pressing the hips forward, and then drawing back, using your core to draw that ball back as you find length through the back of the leg, and then inhale, shifting forward, lengthening the arms forward, rolling that ball, and then drawing it back towards the heart center as you find length through the back of the leg, and then inhale as you shift forward again. Exhale as you come back, lifting the toes. Not locking out through that knee though, we're just finding that nice long line here through the back of the leg. And then you're starting to sweep the right arm up and grabbing hold of the foot if it feels good. And bringing the heel towards the glute, then releasing it and sweeping the arm forward again. And then starting to lengthen forward and drawing back, finding that hamstring stretch, lifting the toes. Inhale, bending through that front knee. Exhale, inhale, sweeping the right arm up and over, hooking the hand somewhere on the foot, bringing the heel to the glute, and then coming forward again, shifting forward and then lengthening back, finding that length through the back of the leg. Inhale, shifting forward, sweeping the right arm up and over, grabbing hold of somewhere on the foot, drawing that foot in towards the glute, and then releasing it, coming back, finding length, lifting those toes, drawing the belly button to spine as you find even more length into the spine. And then you are starting to press forward again, hips come forward, and sweeping that right arm up and over and grabbing hold of the foot as you draw the heel in towards the glute. Releasing it and shifting forward again and finding that hamstring stretch, lifting the toes, releasing forward towards the leg, and then we are coming all the way forward, finding length here. And you can come down onto the forearms if it feels good, and if you did this on the other side, otherwise staying high, just making sure you can breathe really deep here, in through the nose, out the nose or mouth, just softening the shoulders, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the tummy, taking some really cleansing breaths in through the nose and out the nose or mouth. Awesome. And then we are starting to bring the big toes together, knees out wide, sweeping the arms up, and then exhale. And then you are bringing your forearms onto your ball and you are drawing forward and then drawing back, sitting back towards the heels. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, hands come down through prayer. Inhale, shifting forward, rolling the ball forward, using your forearms, using your core, and then drawing that ball back towards the pelvis, and then sweeping the arms up. Exhale and shifting forward, finding a little half plank here with those knees out wide, big toes together, and then drawing the ball back in, sitting back towards the heels. Inhale, sweeping the arms up as you come to a high kneeling. Exhale, sitting back towards the heels and shifting forward, finding that half plank, and then shifting back. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, sitting down, and inhale, shifting forward, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, drawing back in, and inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, floating down and finding that length, pressing out, rolling the ball out, and then drawing it back in. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, high kneeling. Exhale, starting to roll forward, using your core to draw forward, keeping your core engaged as you roll back, sitting back towards the heels. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, coming down and rolling the ball forward, keeping your core engaged, keeping a neutral pelvis, drawing back, sitting back towards the heels. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, coming down and finding that half plank and drawing that ball back in, using the core muscles. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up. Exhale, staying here. You're starting to sweep the right arm up and bringing it back, and then the left arm comes up and bringing it back and forward. Right arm comes up as you come up to your high kneeling. Exhale as you sit back towards the heels and lower back down, bringing the arm forward. Keeping this going, so your gaze is following with this, and I want you to make sure that your hips are staying square to the front of your mat, so you aren't twisting so much from side to side. You're keeping your core engaged, coming back through center, guys, and we are shifting the hips forward as you come forward on the forearms and then back, and left arm sweeps up and back. Exhale, coming forward and rolling the ball forward and bringing it back in. Right arm sweeps up and over and coming back through center and rolling the ball out. Keeping this going, making sure the whole time that you are keeping that belly button to spine. So we're keeping your core engaged and you are also just flowing freely with this. So we're staying really strong here, but we're not gripping anywhere. So we are flowing with the breath, using your breath to help you, and just rolling out as far as what you can really achieve without any compromise. So making sure that you aren't sort of bringing any tension into the low back. It can be a really small little movement out and in. The most important thing is that you are using your core muscles the whole time. So we aren't bringing any tension into anywhere else, such as the low back. We are also keeping the shoulders away from the ears, and you are pressing the hips forward as you start to come up to that high kneeling, and you are then starting to find that shift forward, rolling back. You might notice yourself getting stronger as you move as well, maybe finding that you're able to shift out a little bit further into your plank position. Beautiful. And then we are coming all the way back through center. Now you're just sweeping the right arm up and back and gazing over that right shoulder as you press the hips forward. And then let's go to the other side. Left arm comes up and back and gazing over the left shoulder. And then back through center, and then the right again. So gazing over that right shoulder as you press the hips forward, finding a really nice stretch here, and then switching to the other side. And back through center. Nice. And then you are coming forward and tucking the toes under, and we are coming all the way to a standing. Now you're bringing your toes onto your ball. So your right toes come onto your ball, and you are coming to a high heel here. So lifting the heel up, and then you are rolling the ball away as you start to flex the toes back towards your face, finding length through the back of the leg, and then you are rolling back over your ball and lifting the heel back up. So we're continuing to do this. I want you to try to find openness across the front side of the pelvis and a nice openness across the front side of those hips. Shoulders are relaxed here, and you've got a neutral pelvis, and we're getting a really nice little articulation through the foot as well with this. So just using your glutes to really draw in. And also we're using the inner thighs here. We're using the outer hips. We're also using the core for stabilization as well. So there's a lot going on in this. And let's go to the other side when you're ready. So you're starting to bring the left foot onto your ball. You're starting to do your high heel, drawing in, and then you are flexing the toes towards the face as you start to press out, lengthening the leg long. So not locking out through the joint, but we are finding length through the back of the leg as you come to bring the toes flexing back towards the face. And then we are continuing with this. So just trying to keep that openness through the front side of the pelvis, not twisting off to one side or the other. So we're keeping the whole body pointing to the side of the mat and breathing, using your core, bringing your mind to the muscles that we're working. So your inner thighs, the glute, the back of the leg, the outer thigh. There's a lot happening with this. Your core. Nice, you guys. And let's bring it in. Staying here. And we are starting to do a little draw out and draw in on the right side. So you bring your hands onto your hips for balance, and then you're finding weight through the left foot, nice and even here. And then you're starting to bring the toes out and in. So we are drawing out and drawing in with that right foot. So you can kind of be on the arch of the foot here with this, so that it's a little bit easier to control the ball. But what we want to really imagine that we have the hips on the same level. So both hips are on the same level here. So you might bring your hands onto those hips just to check that, making sure you're not locking out that supporting leg. So you've got a softness into that knee. Awesome. And let's come to the other side. So it's out and in. You're using the outer thigh to press out, and then you're using the inner thigh to draw in. And you are also using your core muscles to stabilize here. So make sure that you are keeping really, really still through the pelvis, keeping a nice neutral pelvis, not popping the tailbone back and not tucking the tailbone under, sort of keeping that nice neutral and lifting up out of the pelvic floor. And we are doing all the things here. Awesome. Let's come through center. Grab hold of your ball and just coming to the front of your mat here. You're going to bring the ball down onto your mat, and then just finding that core engagement, palms facing forward, and we're spreading wide through the fingers. Inhale, sweeping the arms up as you look up, finding a little back bend, pressing the hips forward, and then exhale as you roll all the way down, forward fold. Starting to bring your hands onto your ball and starting to slide the ball forward, and then draw the ball back in as you come to your halfway lift. And then coming back to that forward fold as you lengthen the fingertips forward, finding a nice long line here, and then finding that flat back as you draw the ball back in towards the toes. So keeping this going, I really want you to make sure that you have got your core moving this. So it's actually your core muscles that are drawing the ball back in, and it is then your arms as well as that maintenance of core that is drawing the ball away from the body. So we aren't locking out the elbows. We aren't bringing any tension into the neck. Beautiful. Let's stay here. You're sweeping the left arm up, gazing up, and then the right, and then the left, and then the right, keeping this going. So I want you to just be in that halfway lift here, keeping length through the back of the neck, keeping your core engaged, and then coming back through center, and let's stay here, folding down into a fold, letting go. Hips are high, and then we're starting to come up high onto the balls of the feet, lifting the heels up, lengthening forward. So rolling the ball forward, little test for the balance, and then drawing the ball back and finding a halfway lift as you lift the toes towards the face, coming onto the heels. And then rolling that ball forward again and coming up high onto the balls of the feet as you lift the heels high, and then drawing that ball back in and lifting the toes. Finding length here, finding that flat back, and then coming forward again, shifting your weight forward, lifting the heels, lengthening forward, and drawing the ball back in as you lift the toes. And we are continuing here. So this is quite challenging because it is testing the balance as well. And so we are really working balance. We are working to lengthen the muscles, to strengthen the muscles, toning, sculpting. We're also elevating the heart rate. We are burning body fat. We're doing everything. We are also increasing flexibility, mobility, all of the good things with all of these workouts. So good, you guys. Beautiful. Let's come all the way down. Just releasing, taking a little forward fold here, and then bringing your hands onto your ball again. And we're just starting to walk the ball over to the left side, so just to the outside of the left foot, and then starting to come over to the other side. Awesome. And then we're coming back through center, and you're going to start to step your right foot back and you've got your left foot forward. You're starting to lengthen the left arm up as you gaze up towards that left hand, and then you are lowering the back knee down and finding a lunge position, pressing the ball up overhead, and then we are coming back to our triangle here, and you are sweeping the left arm up as you gaze up, finding straight legs, and then dropping that back knee down, finding that overhead press with your ball, and then you are coming back up. So we're keeping this going. We're coming to a triangle pose, and then we are going from our triangle straight down into a lunge position and an overhead press. And we are continuing to flow with this. Breathing deeply in and fully out, and I want you to make sure that you keep your core engaged. You're finding length through the back of the legs as you come up. We're finding length through the side waist as well. And then you are finding a really nice press up. So bringing the ball to the heart, pressing up overhead, back to the heart, and then lowering it back down. So you can go as fast or as slow as you like with this. We just want to make sure that our form is really good. Let's go to the other side. So you're stepping your right foot forward, and then you are coming up to bring a little 45-degree angle with the left foot, and finding length here through the back of the legs, reaching that right arm up, gazing up, dropping back down to your lunge, doing your overhead press, and then coming back to your triangle, sweeping that right arm up and opening out to the side, gazing up and lowering that back knee down, finding that press, and keep it going. So we want the back foot here to be on a 45-degree angle, and we've got the toes of the front foot pointing straight forward. Our hips are square to the front of the mat, and we are keeping a neutral pelvis. Finding a little bit more openness each time that you come out to the side. Finding that power here as well. As we press up and lower down with control. Let's stay here, guys, and we are just coming to a high kneeling position, pressing the ball up overhead, and then you are pressing back. So you're lowering the pelvis down and bringing the ball over to one side and then back through center as you come up to that high kneeling, doing your overhead press and then sitting back towards the heels as you kind of roll it back. So it's like you're bringing the ball down towards the hip and then bringing it forward again, coming to your high kneeling, pressing the ball up overhead, and then sitting back towards the heels as you come over to the other side. Making sure you're breathing. We want to have the hips square, we want to have the core engaged, and we are finding a little twist here into the side waist. Shoulders are relaxed down and away from the ears. You might start to move this even faster to increase the heart rate a little more. Or you can slow it right down if it feels better for you today. Awesome. And let's come all the way down onto your back. You're going to bring your ball underneath you. So about at the low back is going to be the top of the ball. And just starting to let the legs lengthen up towards the ceiling. So find a really comfortable position here for the legs to be in. And maybe you might start to let the back of the heels soften towards the pelvis. Maybe letting the knees fall towards the shoulders. Anything that feels really good here as we start to unwind. Taking some deep breaths in through the nose and out the nose or mouth. And then maybe, if it's in your practice, you might find a shoulder stand by starting to lengthen the legs up towards the ceiling. Maybe you might find a plow pose, bringing the feet all the way overhead. Maybe the top of the feet connect to the mat here with this, or you might have the toes tucked under, pressing the heels towards the top end of your mat. Or you might stay in that waterfall, just letting the legs float, or even finding a happy baby. And then we're just going to start to roll all the way back down. And then staying here, legs lengthened up towards the ceiling, bringing the heels together, toes slightly turned out, and you're bringing the legs out into a split position. And then we're starting to draw back in, and then you are lowering the legs down, keeping your core engaged. And then we're going to make a little diamond here. So bringing the toes out, drawing a diamond. So just bringing the toes together overhead and then out again, and then you are joining those toes back together at the bottom. So just imagine that you are drawing that diamond shape. As you do this, just making sure that the whole time you've got your core engaged. So we are not bringing any tension into the low back with this. It's super important. Just moving at your own range and just letting those legs come down as low as what you can keep that connection of core really, really strong. And you don't need to come out really wide with the legs either. Just working into what feels good, where you can feel that stretch, but you're also able to breathe really well and you can maintain that full connection of core. Awesome. Next time you come through center, staying here, you're starting to bring the left foot towards the head as the right foot goes towards the end of your mat, and then switching. So it's like a scissor here. We're starting to find that length, that kind of oppositional lengthening out. So one foot goes one direction, the other foot goes the other, and you are grounding the tailbone down. So even though the pelvis is lifted, you're still imagining that you are really finding weight through the pelvis and lengthening through the low back here. Core is softly engaged and you are finding a little bit more length each time, lengthening through the back of the legs. And breathing, switching it over, and then keep it going. Nice. You might even find a little kind of pulse at the bottom of this. And then next time you come through center, just staying here, bringing your hands onto the front side of the knees and maybe just starting to open the knees out, drawing them around, and then a little circle back the other way. Nice. So let's take a moment here. We're starting to come down. You're going to start to bring your foot, your left foot, onto your ball, and you're rolling the ball away, and then you're drawing back in. So just making sure here that you're not moving around in the pelvis and you are keeping really still. Your core is guiding this. So bringing your mind to those core muscles and using your core to press the ball away, and then keeping that core connection as you draw back in. Knee comes in towards the heart center. Awesome. We're also working through the back of the leg here, through the glute, also the hamstring, and we're also getting a nice little massage onto the base of the foot. So a really nice articulation as well of that foot. Nice. Let's bring the right foot onto your ball here, finding that neutral pelvis and doing the same thing on this side. So rolling the ball away, drawing it back in, using your core muscles, breathing deeply in through the nose and out the nose or mouth as you continue here. Relaxing the jaw, keeping that pelvis really, really still. Using your core muscles to guide this, getting really strong through those tummy muscles. And a couple more here. Nice. Now bringing both feet onto your ball, and let's bring the toes back towards the face, and you are starting to just draw that ball in, and then you are pressing it out. So it's just a little press out and then a drawing back in. So pressing away and drawing back in. So you can roll the whole foot over your ball with this, so that you can really find that nice massage into the feet, seeing if you can keep your core engaged the whole time, and gluing the legs together and rolling it out, using those glute muscles to draw back in. So good, you guys. We're nearly done with our workout today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. It's been beautiful to have you join me. And if you did enjoy the workout, you might like to check out some of the other workouts here on the channel. There's new releases every single week, so make sure you subscribe to be notified. Now we're just doing a little lift up here. So we are bringing the ball up overhead, then bringing it to the heart center, and then bringing it towards the knees as you lift the head and shoulders up. Reach and lowering back down, and keep this going. So if it's too much to do it with the ball here, you can do this without, particularly if you have quite a heavy weighted ball. But it is amazing if you do have a bit of weight here as well for this, because it's already pretty challenging even without it. And you can have the inside of those knees together, and you can have the arches of the feet to the outside edges of the mat if you want to, or you can have the legs in a different position. Whatever feels better. Let's lift it up and lower it back down, and bring it up and lower it back down. Not bringing tension into the neck here, using your core muscles, belly button to spine. Lift it up, lower it down, make it count. We are nearly done, you guys. Couple more here. Breathing, coming up, reach and lowering down. Let's stay here and let's pulse it. Tiny little pulses up and down, tiny pulses. Keep that lift, keep it going. Breathing, we're nearly done. Keep it going, stay strong till the end. Few more here and release. Well done. Coming all the way down. You're done. Well done. You have done an amazing job today. Hope you have the best rest of your day or evening. See you again soon.